Welcome to Varsity. I'm Ryan Aber, joined by Jason Kersey. Jason, a week of upsets last week, none bigger than Tulsa Union falling to Owosso, ends their 94-game district winning streak. This sets up a really big game this week between Owosso and Stillwater. We thought would be for the number 2 spot in that district, could be for the district championship.
Yeah, Stillwater was 1-9 last season. They are 5-1 this season, with their only loss coming to Tulsa East Central in week 1. And this is a huge game, like you said. Stillwater's got a lot of weapons, and Owosso's got all that momentum.
Hey, you talk about this game, you've got to start with the wide receiver quarterback combos. Owosso especially, Case and Keon Hatcher. What do you see as the difference between each of those two groups?
Well, you're right. Both sides have amazing offensive weapons, and both sides have great quarterback-receiver combos. Stillwater's got 2 great receivers, Jesse Vester and Corey Hassel, and then Owosso obviously has Keon Hatcher, who's a Arkansas commit. So as far as differences go between the two, I don't really know because I haven't seen them play yet, but I think both sides have great offensive weapons.
And you wonder about how Owosso is going to respond in this game. There could be a tendency for a letdown. Do you see that as a possibility for the Rams this week?
At first I was sort of leaning towards picking Stillwater because I thought that might be something that might happen with having a hangover after such a huge win. But at the same time, I think Owosso is ready to prove to people that win was legitimate. And so I think they're going to come out and play really well against Stillwater. It's a home game. They're going to have their home crowd behind them, and I think they want to prove people wrong.
So it sounds like you're going to pick Owosso in this game?
I am going to pick Owosso in this one. I think it'll be close, and I think it'll be a shootout, but I think in the end, Owosso's going to be a little better.
And I'm going to go with Owosso as well. I think the Rams, like you said, are going to come into this game with a little bit of an attitude. Some people have been talking that win was a fluke last week because Union was down a quarterback and a running back. I think Owosso wants to prove that isn't the case. I think they're going to come out with some swagger here and win by a touchdown to 2 in this one. Mm-hmm. And Jason, another game we've circled on our calendars the entire year. It's always one of the best games in the state every year. This year's probably going to be no different. Carl Albert goes to Guthrie this Friday and playing at the Rock. What are you looking forward to in this one?
Well, I think both defenses have been unbelievable this season. I think each is giving up less than 10 points a game. Guthrie's offense has been unbelievable, like we expected. They're able to run the ball with Luke Davis really well. We were a little worried about their receiving core because they lost Kentrell Brothers, but they really haven't had to throw the ball too much yet this season. So I think it's going to be an incredible matchup. Yeah,
it should be a great one. Obviously, you look at stars on each team. Carl Albert's a team that really doesn't have the standout guy that they've had in the past. They've had a Datejuan Lowe, they've had Trey Porter, David Oku, some of those guys. They don't have a guy like that. What they do have is a quarterback, Dylan Dansby, who has really proven himself over the first part of the season. Came back from a knee injury that he suffered last year and has really taken control of this offense and given them some direction when it looked like they were struggling for it early. Now they haven't faced a defense like Guthrie. How do you see that matchup, especially with Guthrie's linebackers?
Guthrie's linebackers, you're right, have been unbelievable. Landry Chappell has just been exactly what we expected him to be, which is one of the top, if not the top linebacker in Class 5A. Carl Albert's offense is still developing. But Guthrie's defense is fully developed, and so I think that Carl Albert's got a real challenge ahead of him with Guthrie's defense.
And what's your pick in this one? You figure it's going to be close. Which way do you see it swinging?
I'm going towards Guthrie because of what I just said. Carl Albert's offense is still developing. Guthrie's defense is developed. They've been great all season, and Carl Albert's offense has not had to face anything like that. And on the other side, Guthrie's offense has been great as well. Not to say Carl Albert's defense hasn't, but I think it'll be just enough to get them by in this one.
And I'm going to go the same way. I'm going to pick Guthrie in this one, a close game. Carl Albert historically has been a team that's gotten better progressively as the season goes on. I think if this game were in week 13 or 14 in the playoffs, I might go the other way and go with Carl Albert, but I think at this point of the season, I go with Guthrie. I think they're just a little bit too strong for Carl Albert in this one. Jason, the last game we're going to talk about today is a great matchup in 3A, Bethany and Kingfisher. on Friday. The winner of this one figures to be in really good position down the road when they face Heritage Hall, which is going to be a tough one. But how do you see this one playing out?
Well, I think that in this one, you got Kingfisher, which has a great run game with Landon Nault. He's come back as a sophomore and had just another phenomenal season so far. Bethany's offense is more pass-oriented, so it's going to be an interesting matchup between those two offenses. I'm going to pick Bethany in this one. I think they're a little bit better, and I think that you're right, sets up that undefeated showdown with Heritage Hall there in Week 9. But Kingfisher's going to be tough.
Yeah, my initial thought was to go with Bethany, but I'm going to go a different direction in this one. I'm going to go with Kingfisher. I think Kingfisher has a little bit more big game experience than Bethany. I think Bethany is a very good team. They played some really good games, but I think Kingfisher, once you get into this situation where they're going to be playing for probably a home field playoff spot to start, I'm going to have to go with the Yellow Jackets in this one. Jason, thanks for joining us, and thank you. And check us out every day at newsok.com/varsity for the best high school coverage anywhere.